Meeting is officially started.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi again. So, what did you want to see?
Okay, so we're using this time to go through our survey that we're going to be handing over to Lane County Waste Management for the home show this coming weekend, to help gather some data about food waste and why people may or may not be using our existing system of gathering food waste in our yard waste bins at single family households.
Okay, let me pull it up.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And another thing we could think about, I know you're not on it, Mitra, but the Education Outreach Committee is trying to get it together to go to the NLC, the Neighborhood Leaders, whatever the C stands for, coalition, I don't remember, in April. And you know, if we could either use just a general education, this is just an idea, Danielle, like, or we could test this one out as well in that environment. So just a thought, like we could see what happens if we put the survey out if the Education and Outreach Committee gets it together to do this thing, which I'm really hoping they will.
That sounds great.
But
Oh, Devin, so as we all know, the Sustainability Commission has offered the grant to Mecca to do our event, the youth upcycled art event. And part of what we're trying to do for that is on Earth Day, we're doing a award ceremony, and there's going to be tabling opportunities for sustainability. So it's at the 5th Street Market. There's going to be lots of kids and families and people there. And it's on Earth Day, which is Monday, April 22nd, just for 2 hours, for like from 4 to 6. And that might be a really great, if the Education and Outreach Committee feels good about it. And do we have a meeting in between now and then? Yes. Our April meeting should be before the 22nd, I believe, right?
I think so.
That group doesn't. I just got an email from Jan working on scheduling, because the Education and Outreach meeting doesn't have a current meeting scheduled.
But if we wanted to plug in and even do something, we're trying to invite groups to like do something that is engaging. So create some sort of game or activity. Even doing something like this, or like making a game out of it. Well, let's go through this first and see how we feel about it by the end of this meeting.
Are you guys seeing it?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we've got basically 2 questions, and we envision this being just something where someone would put one mark under each question. So super simple. So let's just look through this. What type of residence do you live in? House or row home, apartment, condo, duplex, triplex, fourplex, accessory dwelling unit, manufactured home, other. Okay. So which of these do we envision having access to the current system of yard waste collection or composting with yard waste collection? I wonder if it's important to kind of mentally note that a house or row home most likely does.
For sure.
Apartment, based on the city's information, probably doesn't. Condos, I don't really know. Probably not. It probably is a case to case.
It depends on the homeowners, the condo association, right? If they have a condo association that is like making sure it's all going smoothly, you know, that's good.
I'm wondering if a better question is, are you aware of whether your housing situation has this accessible, this like collects compost through through the,
Danielle, could you blow it up a little bit bigger?
Yeah, you know what? Do you guys mind if I send this to you and one of you share it? And
Yeah,
then that
that's-
way you can like
That's fine.
wordsmith it. Let me send it to you, Mitra.
okay, or do you want to just put it in the chat?
Oh, yeah. And then, well, the only thing is in public meetings, like,
Oh, yeah, it's a webinar.
then like people can't see it. But if I share it with you, can I even share?
I don't know if I can share because it's a webinar.
I can make you a host.
Okay.
I'm just gonna email it to you because I don't think I can put attachments in the chat.
Okay.
Attach file, there we go. Okay, I just sent it to you. And then I'm gonna make you a co-host. Oh, nope. Okay, you should be co-host now.
Okay, let's see. I don't. I don't know if it shows any options for me to share. Hold on. Let me pull it up in my email first.
Might be because I'm sharing.
Okay, I have it here.
Oh yeah, okay, I stopped sharing, so you should be able to now.
Okay, so let me try. Okay. Switch to active speaker. Do I have to do that? No. How do I? I'm on
That's
my iPad.
You thing. You're not seeing like a share screen?
No, because I'm on my iPad and it might mean.
Do you want me to send it to you, Devin?
You could.
Yeah,
I'll
that,
make you a co-host too.
everybody
can be a
Just-
co-host.
let me.
Okay, just sent it to you, Devin.
All right, let me see here. Do. Come on, come on. There it is. All righty. Da. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me go to here and here and here. How many panels can share at a time? Only one can share at a time. Hold on. I might just hold on. Share screen, share. Oh, here we go.
Because I'm sharing?
I don't
Hold
think
on.
you're
You
You're
need
sharing.
not
to-
sharing. Okay.
All
there
right.
you go.
There we go. Okay.
Am I sharing? Am I sharing?
Yes,
Yes.
you're sharing. Great.
Okay.
Yay. Yay. Good job.
Look, and now I can
Okay.
make it really big so I can see it.
So, okay. I'm wondering if the more pertinent question for this first question is,
Mhm.
are they aware of whether they have the service? And so it doesn't really matter what kind of home they have. If they have it or not, you could be, yes, I have it. No, I don't, or I don't know. And then if they know they have it, they can answer the question.
Do we want Is it, I completely agree with you. Is there any reason to ask this as well?
The only reason I would ask it is if they don't know if they have it, we could ask this question, and one of the reasons might be they live in a condo or an apartment, and it might be that they don't have it. But
I think that either way, it's kind of interesting.
yeah, but we're trying to keep it really simple and just gather the information. If we have too many questions, I think let's think it through before we make that decision though. But okay, so what we really want,
something like that. Or
maybe like do you have, what's the first question? So do you have access to composting pickup through your yard waste bin or something? It yours?
Oops, I'm capitalizing everything. I don't know why.
I do that too.
I'm very excited. What about that?
Well, what if they don't live in Eugene too? Because I know that could be a reason. Is yard waste collection available at your residence? That's good. Yes, no, or I don't know would be the
Yeah.
answer. Yeah,
Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to. Hold on.
yeah, gotcha.
Hold on. One more.
There we go.
And it could just be, I don't know what this bullet is. Hold on. It looks like when it transferred to my Word, it's doing its own thing. See? Hold on.
Yeah, I see that.
Really quick. Doop. Look, I'm even choosing that and it says no. Come on. There we go.
Oh.
All right. So yes. No.
No, I don't know. And so it would be if no, if you didn't answer yes. Well, wait, hold on. Okay, so the first question is it available to you?
Mm-hmm.
And we can figure out how many people polled are aware of whether it's available to you. So one thing that would be nice to know is if they don't know, how many people live in Eugene in a single family household that doesn't know that.
What if we just start like this?
Yeah. Yes, no.
Oops, hold on.
Oh.
Now it's doing its own thing. It just likes to do it. Do we put, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, there is that, you know, maybe.
I don't know.
Okay. Is yard waste collection available at your residence? So.
Because this is kind of interesting, because if they say yes, and they say, I don't know, that's useful information.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, look, they don't even know that they have it. Like well,
here's where things get complicated though. We are trying to keep this as a very simple thing where people are just putting a dot. And are we getting to a point, like we can't track which people put dots next to I don't know and then go on to answer.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Now we're getting into a more.
No, we can't give people numbers. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I just lost track of that thought for a second.
No, so I mean I did too, obviously.
It's so exciting when you make a survey.
I know. I love making surveys, to be honest. And maybe what we could do is keep the other parts of this that we could use in a future time when we can do something a little more in depth. But for this particular use, it would just be if you have this service available to you, why don't you use it? Like, what is your reason for not using it?
Instead of this, just like, I kind of like that better than using barrier language. Like if you just say,
if like, are you aware that food waste is collected through yard waste bins in Eugene? If so, like that's just a statement. It's like keep all that. We'll just like sorry. I don't want to waste the work that we're doing here. So like just right above our list of reasons, our barriers or whatever, just write this question, a statement. Are you aware that food waste is collected in yard waste bins in the Eugene area? Is it in Springfield too, or just Eugene?
I'm not sure. I bet I can find out really quick.
Oh,
though.
let me Google it right now.
Want to Google it?
I'm gonna Google it because you're typing. Okay. Yeah, it says Eugene and Springfield.
Maybe we just leave that off. Maybe we don't worry about this.
Well, yeah, we could, well, leave it for now. We can always delete it in a second. So are you aware that food waste is collected at the curb in yard waste bins in Eugene and Springfield? And that's, and then we can say,
Oops.
if you, what barriers do you face in composting food scrap? So then we should make this directly linked, this next question. If
Mhm.
so, if what, like, if you're aware of this, what are some reasons why you don't use the service?
We'd have to say, if you don't use the service, why not?
Yeah,
When-
yeah,
That's an
So-
open-ended question,
yeah,
right?
yeah. If you do not use the services or this service, or
Like-
what are,
Like, if
So-
you put it here instead, you're
Yeah.
saying, like, instead of saying that, you say, or
if you do not use the service, what barriers do you face in, why not? That's the easiest thing, why not?
I think that people would like that. I like it better than that.
Yeah, that's a little confusing. What barriers?
It's just kind of like, what are your barriers?
Yeah.
It
Let's
gets a
delete
little-
Okay. So vermin, fruit flies, rats, etc. It's gross. It smells. I wonder if it's the smell and the grossness are one thing, or are those two separate things?
I was wondering that last time, but
I think simplifying it as much as possible
Kinda-
is good. Like, it's gross, it's, or smells, gross factor / it smells, maybe.
it's too gross.
Or odor and it smells.
Gross and smelly.
Too gross and smelly. Yeah, that's,
I mean, I don't know what we want
I
people
like,
to.
I like it. It's not available to me. Cost from hauler of adding yard debris collection. We
Think we
can
should-
say what the cost is. It's like a $5 monthly fee.
Is that
That-
all?
I think
Are we
that's what we
sure?
decided. What may have varied from hauler to hauler. Let me Google that. What is the cost for collecting yard waste in Eugene and Springfield, Oregon?
I think we just do this.
Yeah, it's breaking it down by cubic yards.
Yeah, and like,
Cost is too high to have yard debris collected. Well, that's fine. But I don't have a container. Oh, so let's clarify. I don't
Inside?
have a container for my home or in my home, because they will have a yard waste container. Or I don't have a compost.
how about I don't have a food waste container.
In my house, in my home, for my home. Yeah, there we go. I'm unsure what is compostable. Challenges transporting it from my kitchen to my bin. My family isn't on board. I don't think it's necessary. Other. Yeah.
except we don't want,
other,
because
right,
it's just a dot, so no one's gonna
Right.
write what it is.
so this way we're collecting literally, is the first one a dot too?
What do you mean? First
So-
one, what?
We're just starting with the question right above this.
Oh,
Are you aware that food waste is collected at the curb in yard waste bins in Eugene and Springfield? That's important. We'll see how many people are aware, are not aware, or just don't know.
here, this should probably be, it's debris, isn't it? Is it waste or
Yeah.
debris?
I don't know. I had Apex and I think it said, I can't remember. Is yard debris food waste collection available at your residence? Yes,
Hold
no, no.
Let me see what
If you
Santa.
answer no,
Yard debris. Santa Pack calls it. Oh my goodness. I think they call it compost.
I don't know. See, yeah,
Hold on, I have it on my calendar because otherwise I don't remember. Oh, Santa Pack calls it yard waste. Because they sent me my little Santa Pack
oh,
thing
okay. Yard,
backwards. Hey, Karen.
Hi, sorry, was not available.
that's all right.
Okay.
So we're just simplifying this. So
Let's do this then. Oops.
okay. So wait, just go to the question. Are you aware that food waste is collected at the curb in yard waste bins in Eugene, Springfield? So that's question 1. I don't think we're answering all of these. We're just trying to simplify it to those 2 questions. Are you aware that food waste is collected at the curb in yard waste bins in Eugene and Springfield? Yes, no, I don't know. That shows us how many people are aware or has access to it. And we can compare that directly without knowing person by person. We just compare the no's to the reasons. But we also get a number of how many people, the awareness level of it. And then of the no's.
That's a really not a great sentence. Can we clean up the sentence?
Are you aware that food waste is collected at the curb in yard waste bins in Eugene, Springfield? What is it that you would change about that?
Well, are you aware that food waste is collected curbside in residential yard waste bins throughout Eugene and Springfield?
Okay,
Something like that.
curbside in yard. Okay, so what did you say? Are you aware that food waste is collected curbside in
In
residential yard waste
curbside, in residential
across Eugene and Springfield?
yard waste bins across Eugene and Springfield.
Okay.
That's-
So we're replacing in with a cross. Okay.
Why? About the cross?
I don't know.
You can put in Eugene and Springfield, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, this makes it almost seem
Okay.
a little bit more obtuse. All
So
right.
are you aware that
Put back the sentence, I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet. Go put back
no, are you aware that food waste is collected curbside in residential yard waste bins in Eugene and Springfield? That is more accurate to say residential because we are aware that it is not collected in multifamily and some of that stuff. So saying residential,
Yeah,
not-
it's good. And curbside is better. Thank you. for
Yeah.
Curbside.
yeah, I think that's better. We got it. So our answer is yes, no, I don't know. If you do not use the collection service, so then we're talking to a subgroup of these people who has access to it but doesn't use it. So we know these people know they have access to it. They do have access to it, but they do not use it. Why not? Simple. So Karen, we've just limited this down to vermin, so fruit flies, rats, etc. It's too gross and smelly. It's not available to me. Cost is too high to have yard waste collection. I don't have the food waste container for my kitchen. I am unsure what is compostable. I have challenges transporting it from my kitchen to my bin. My family isn't on board, and I don't think it's necessary, and then other. How does that list sound to you?
You're muted.
If you do not use the collection service for yard waste,
Yeah, the only question that we've asked them is just about the yard waste, of why they're not collecting food in their yard waste. Wait, maybe we should specify if you do not put food waste, because they might be using the yard waste, but not the food waste part of it,
Mm.
right?
if you do not include food
Yes.
in your yard collection one.
That misses this one though, because maybe they don't pay for yard waste collection at all, which is kind of, the cost is too high for a yard waste bin, for example. People don't want to have the extra bin.
So that's why they don't use it.
Right.
Yep, some people compost at home with barrel tumblers or in their garden with the old Darth Vader ones too.
That's
Oh,
a good,
you can do that.
So are you trying to find out if they compost or if they participate in the yard debris collection?
Like,
so we're trying to find out of the people that have the service and know they have the service, why are they not using it for food waste?
Yeah, there you go. So then that is irrelevant. Cost is too high to have a yard waste collection.
right. Does
So
that
if
make
you-
sense?
Yeah. If you do not use yard waste collection service for food waste, why not? That's more clear.
And that way you can have this and you can also have this.
And you could
Like-
also have, it's not available to me. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe we should put it's not available to me at the top of the list, which is 3 down.
I know, it just took me, I couldn't see it. Let's see.
Yeah. And maybe the cost too high is at the next one. And then maybe I compost at home at the next one. And that way all the very general reasons are out of the way. And then we get more specific.
Oops. This here?
Okay.
What do you think about adding one that says, I don't know who to contact? Or like, to get a yard waste bin? Like, what if it's like that kind of thing? Do we care?
Well, we're trying to think of all of the reasons why people wouldn't be using this.
Like, oh, I want to use that. Now, who do I call? Like,
Well, you could also say, I didn't know it was available. Could be, it's not available. Number 2 could be, I wasn't aware it was available.
or I am not aware it's available. Or what do you think, Karen?
Are
But
those 2 separate ones or one?
Well, these are very different.
Yeah. Not aware it's available or don't know who to contact.
Kind of confused because you said that you're talking to people who have yard debris collection. But that's
No,
not,
we're talking to everybody and we're trying to create something where they just put a dot next to these 2 questions. So we won't be able to track the people that
Right.
answer the question right above it, which is, are you aware that food waste is collected curbside in residential waste?
Oh, so we are asking this over again.
But it's a different kind of question, or yeah, I guess we could just skip that whole top
Yeah.
question and it just have, if you do not use yard waste collection service for food waste. Why not? It's not available to me. I'm not aware it's available or who to contact. Cost, yeah, this is, then we don't even have to ask two questions. It's one question.
Well, I
No,
mean,
wait.
what about, did you ask people at the beginning, do they have yard waste collection at their house?
No, because we can't ask a bunch of questions because it's a dot survey. We started out asking a bunch of questions and then we realized it's pointless to do that because we cannot track with a dot type survey if you answer no, it's not available versus I don't know if it's available or I know it's available but I'm not using it.
Well,
So
I wonder if you want to know if people are composting or if they're composting municipally.
Or that's here.
yeah, that's in this survey.
Oh, I compost at home.
Yard waste collection service for food. Why not? It's not available.
I'm not aware it is available. It's cost prohibitive. I compost at home in my own yard.
There you
There's
go.
vermin. It's gross.
Kitchen, I'm unsure. What'd you say, Karen?
No, that's good.
Okay.
And then we can go back and get rid of the stuff up here.
Yeah, I would literally just use this bottom part. That's the most succinct way to gather this information.
This one too? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
'Cause it's right here.
yeah. If you don't use yard waste,
Sorry.
or one reason could be, yeah, it's not available to me. I'm not aware it's available or who to contact.
Yep.
Cost is too high. I compost at home. Vermin, too gross. Don't have a kitchen container. I'm unsure what is compostable. Have challenges transporting it. My family isn't on board. I don't think it's necessary. And other.
Can I change this to be something more user-friendly? Like I'm not
What?
sure
What?
what I can put in the bin.
Yeah.
Oops. Just because it seems a little more
Yeah.
user-friendly. And do we like this wording?
I do. That was one of my big obstacles. Oh wait, I don't think it's necessary or my family's not on board.
My family's not on board, sorry.
Charlie.
I think it's
What?
good. I like it. It's hard, as you know, like when there's like one person
Yep.
trying to drive the whole thing and everybody is like doing different things.
Well, like for me, I literally was doing it all. And then in this summertime when it was fruit fly season, my family they were apathetic for what, like with me doing it. They would sometimes do it, sometimes not, depending on the ease. But like during fruit fly season, they're like, Mitra, get it out of here. Like we're not doing it. Fruit flies are infesting our house. Get them out. So it's like I literally was experiencing challenges, you know?
So
it is-
okay, what do you do for your fruit flies now? Because I have a thing that totally works.
Well,
you-
I was trying to make these traps with like apple cider vinegar in a jar with this like funnel and like duct tape. And it sometimes worked. And then my father-in-law bought these like over the counter, like whatever little traps for them. What
You
is your,
wanna know what I do?
yeah,
I just take a
please.
little glass, like a little like, I don't know, like a little glass that maybe had a candle in it or, just any kind of small jar or a cute little wine glass or something. And I put some whiskey in it. And
Whiskey.
yeah, for sure.
They like whiskey?
Something like, yeah, really fragrant. Like sometimes I'll like put some whiskey in it, just like a little, like not even a shot. And like I'll throw in something fruity like a Marionberry, whatever from Thinking Tree or whatever, like a little bit of Marionberry liqueur or something. And I leave it on the counter and you can watch them. They all land on the edge and they all go in and they drown.
So you're getting them all drunk and then
I'm getting
they're
them drunk. It's just like
with
the
really
slug.
nice mixed drinks, it sounds like.
I know, and I'm like, leave it out, and it doesn't really bother anybody because it's just like a little glass, and they're like, I just tell my husband, don't drink that. That's not for you. Like,
What a
I mean,
surprise.
there would be like 20 fruit flies in there. I mean,
Wow.
you don't want it, it'll dry out because it evaporates, but you just refresh it, and they love like
Yeah.
anything really smelly, like sherry or
I was
something like
using
cooking
wine. Yeah.
I've had better luck with like harder alcohol than just regular wine.
Yeah, some wine they seem to like, and I mean, I guess they're picky like all of us.
Like Chambord, like whatever you have in the back of your cabinet
oh,
that nobody
Chambord, yeah.
ever wants to drink, just pour like a tiny bit. It's like,
Yeah.
I've got tons of stuff in
Okay, good to
ours
know.
that doesn't
Good
get,
to know.
it
I like
works.
little hacks for sure.
I mean, if you have
Okay.
thousands of them, I don't know, but like
Yeah,
I put it out right when the season starts before it really.
proactively. Yeah, that would be good. Well, also not buying bananas during that time of year is also helpful.
Or put them in the refrigerator, which I also do
Yeah.
that.
Bananas?
Yeah,
They
I mean,
turn
it's
around?
not, they do, but I mean, it depends on how fast your people eat them.
Yeah, true. Well, I'm gonna have a baby in my house soon, and I imagine we're gonna have a lot of bananas around, but okay. So we've got this simple question. It's
I
the
like
one
it.
Okay, here's a question now. Practicality. Oh wait, talking points. Who is the Sustainability Commission? How can the public engage? So do we want to provide this information to the Lane County Waste Management to talk about this?
I wasn't really sure. I'm gonna say I don't remember if this was just for us when we're giving it and we didn't think about that piece yet, is my guess about what to say
Yeah,
to.
I wonder. Okay, let's finish with the top part and we can
Okay.
move on to the second part because I'm sure Lane County Waste Management has many facts they can throw out about food waste because literally they're tabling on food waste at this event. So I'm sure we don't need to provide them with talking points because they probably are providing it.
The home show, is that the deal?
Yeah, they're doing this at the home show. Yeah. We're hoping they will use this. I mean, I talked to Daniel, and he said that they would use this to just, so let's talk about how this could help appear. Do we just have a laminated sheet? Do we write it on a whiteboard in Sharpie and then have people use dry erase markers? Do we print it out on what now?
It's kind of I mean, we could print it out. That'd be a lot. I mean, it would need to be really big and people would need to have a way to put their dots on it. I think I'm trying to remember, Karen, at the picnic, it was did people put stickers? It was stickers, right? On a piece of paper. It was a big piece of paper and they'd stick stickers on. I think. You're muted again.
Maybe we could think about a really sustainable way. Like if we printed this out in large print and literally taped it onto a whiteboard. So it was very clear and looked professional. And then you could use a whiteboard markers to mark it and we could reuse it over and over again. We could just have it on a slightly large, like little whiteboard. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Karen?
Yeah. Am I not muted?
Not anymore.
We're good
No.
now.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. I can't remember
mean-
exactly. I can't remember exactly how we did it. It must have been.
Also, it's just, it's one piece of paper. We could also just literally let them mark it with a pen and then give it to us. Cause I mean,
Then you don't have to re-record it.
yeah, well, we don't have to store it. Like having
Right.
Well,
something.
that's what I like about, I don't want to print out a million of these, but printing out one is not a really big deal. It's
Yeah.
kind of nice if they mark on it, because then, you don't have all these stickers that you're trying to peel off, or they fall off,
Yeah.
or like the dry erase somebody puts their thumb on it and wipes off half the dots, or that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
true. Yeah. I think, yeah, just printing a single piece of paper and giving it to them, and they can like take it and then just either give us the data or shoot us a picture of the piece of paper or anything that we can include, and then they'll have it too.
Yeah. And then it could be transported super easily.
Yeah, and then we don't have to store the actual physical thing somewhere.
Right.
That is annoying. Okay, so I can literally like just email this over to Daniel once we finished.
Who's
I think
Daniel?
Daniel Heistand from
I
the
don't
Sligo
think that
County
is.
Waste Management.
Uh-huh.
I don't know his position, but he is the one who's setting up at it's him. I think he works under Angie, but is a more general person than Kelly Bell. I'm
Mhm.
not
Do you
sure.
want me to just take this off then? Oops.
Well, we might want to think about getting this for our future use for like the if we are going to use this, we want to have some bullet points about who we are as a sustainability commission. I do have our logo, so I can put our logo on this formal survey, and Daniel said we should definitely include credit for us for that. And then I would love to maybe even ask him what some of the biggest talking points about food waste in the landfill could be that we could use, because they have that information. They're really good at that.
So I'm just saying, let's take this off. I mean, this is not any rocket science or anything we're not going to remember later. Like, if we're just
Okay.
thinking ahead to this event and making the questionnaire, maybe we just worry about this later and see what we can get from them, like their good talking points or slides or stuff.
Well, maybe we should just say talking points for sustainability commission future use, and then we could say what are I don't know, when I send this over to him, we could ask him that. I can just copy and paste the upper portion of this, but we can keep the bottom if we want to develop this.
I just wasn't sure how you wanted to use this. Yeah.
Keep in mind that this is probably the last meeting for this committee. No, we might have one more after this. I think we requested it to go through April. But so we'll have one more meeting for this committee, and it will probably be to write a report about our findings. So we should probably do all of the work we can in this session, this little meeting we have, for future use on this topic. Like, do it now, probably.
Okay.
So we already have who the Sustainability Commission is and how we can engage, how the public can engage. So they can engage by sitting in on our meetings, comments and questions, sending us information. Food waste in the short landfill generates, so should we just say plug in data from Lane County Waste Management, and I can ask Daniel this?
Yeah.
And then, so what's the big takeaway about the compostable bags? Is it's too much, contamination, or for the current system to manage? Was that?
Bags are not accepted in the yard waste.
Right.
The
So-
compostable bags are not.
Right, they're not because they don't actually break down.
Well, yeah, they don't break down and they're also confused for other bags.
Exactly.
That's also the reason why like compostable containers are not included too, is that people make containers that look like compostable containers that aren't, and there's no way Rexius can go in and like examine every bag and make an assumption that it's compostable, or every food waste container. And it just gets confusing if you see some person putting in a food container, someone sees that, then they just don't even think about it. They're like, oh, they take food waste containers in there.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of complicated to talk to the public about this, but it makes a lot of sense once you like, because a lot of people aren't thinking in terms of systems, in terms of like, how is this being managed on the back end? Or
Yeah, and like where is the human component coming
Yeah.
in, sorting, and where does this go when it leaves your house? Like most people don't
They
want to
just-
think about where it goes when it leaves the house.
they just think it magically gets used in a really great way.
Right.
And yeah,
And I mean, obviously the IMER would sort those things automatically because there isn't a human component. If they were in the garbage, like it would remove the organic compostables from garbage, right? But but it doesn't change the problem with putting them in the yard waste.
yeah, the current system, as Karen, when you became a master recycler, did you get to tour Rexius?
Yeah,
Yeah. So when you go there and you see this, you see that they're just mountains. Like, okay, you can envision the trucks picking up all the yard waste and food waste mixed in, and then they dump it in a big pile. And yeah, so maybe there's like a bunch of bags in there or food waste containers. You can't singularly dig
Right.
through a pile and pull out every single little one to examine whether it's officially a yard waste or a compostable thing. And it sucks because it's like, yeah, maybe it is perfectly fine and compostable, but there's just no way. And it's like allowing that opens floodgate for all of this other contamination.
Right.
So it's a complicated topic to talk about because it's like, but it is compostable. It says right there it's compostable. And the reason why you can't take it is like, well, our system doesn't support
Right.
verification of the compostability of all these things.
Right. The haulers, I mean, you could just say the haulers can't differentiate between
Yeah.
compostable materials and plastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
and having plastic clogging up.
not the haulers, it's the processors.
Well,
Yeah.
the processors, right. Whoever is receiving it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
But the background noise on it is, a lot of those have plasticizers in them anyway.
Yeah.
The other really complicated thing to understand is that once they do break down, which they take like 6 times the amount with processing to break them down in food waste, is they don't make a viable product and actually make CO2 as the byproduct. So it actually contributes to greenhouse gas production. But I can
No,
only
they're
tell you science brain, huh?
nice. I didn't know that actually.
And like the thing, all these things you say there.
Even further, from a greenhouse gas perspective, just in terms of the material, paper is way worse than plastic.
Paper,
Way worse.
because of the upstream manufacturing part of it, or downstream?
From a decomposition standpoint. Paper
Really?
decomposes, it releases greenhouse gases, CO2, into the atmosphere. Plastic is
Well, yeah,
Right,
because
it doesn't decompose.
Yeah,
Right.
paper it probably causes a similar effect to yard waste or food waste in the
right.
land.
And so paper is all thing, you know, people use paper cups or paper to-go containers and they're feeling all great about it. The reality is that a plastic clamshell that can be recyclable is way better overall environment if
Wow.
it's taken in. So maybe the Recycling Modernization Act will address that, but go refillable. Stop buying disposable stuff, but paper is making the problem worse, but it looks prettier and it's not plastic. So, you know,
Yeah,
and
we've over vilified plastics, apparently.
well, yeah, could you live without plastic? I'm not in favor of eliminating plastics altogether either.
I mean, we used to. I actually did a report on the history of plastics for the Jordan Schnitzer Museum of Art exhibit. You remember that a few years back? And I learned, I mean, that plastics aren't all that old. I mean, they were really invented in the 60s. And before that, we lived without plastics. So for me, it was kind of eye-opening and like, well, we did this before. And yes, I know we can't go back and de-evolve, but it seems like we could be trained back to using glass and reusable things because we did it. I mean, we've only been reliant on them for like literally less than 100 years. So I don't know.
And it really upticked. I mean, there's a great, not to digress, but there's a really great front line about the myth of recycling in plastics. I don't know, Karen's probably seen it. It's pretty disturbing, but it totally makes sense. I mean, where the plastics recycling movement came from was petroleum companies. And even big petroleum companies actually invented the little recycling symbol of the arrows because they wanted to make more plastic. It is sounds a little conspiracy theory, but it's really not. They really wanted to make more plastic and sell more plastic, so they started a recycling movement, and so that people would feel good about buying more and more and more plastic and not worry about it because it could be recycled. It's really cool. Look at PBS if you have the service where you can go watch whatever PBS show, like from the app. And I forget what the name of the front line is. Karen, do you remember? It's so good and really disturbing, but it's really good.
I'll look it up. Hold on a second.
It like changed my life. I mean, I kind of knew about it. And it has to do too with like in the 70s with the gas lines and
Plastic Wars.
Plastic Wars. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow.
It is
okay.
really amazing.
You know, like I said, think about if you could live without plastics in your life all the way.
Right. Sure. It's just a matter of how much we're making and how much we're throwing away. I mean, we have to at some point stop making so much for all these things too.
Well, I mean, not
like bringing your own container.
Yeah, I'm not like, I'm sitting here with my iPad right now, looking at the case that's made of plastic and all these little things around me. And I'm realizing I'm not one of those types of people who is like, we should have zero plastics. I just think what humans tend towards convenience and ease, like all animals do. It's just like genetically, we're designed to want that. And like plastics have enabled us to become reliant on things that are not sustainable for our convenience and ease. And it's like, and there's that bias that we all have as humans, a present bias, where we're only thinking about we're more so concerned with our present experience over our futures. So it's like, I think there's a balance that can be found between becoming unreliant on disposable plastics and being more thoughtful about how we use them and creating systems that create the use of them as
we're lucky to be in Oregon because I think that Recycling Modernization Act, and there's actually 4 states in the country that are all lefty states that have adopted extended producer responsibility laws. This will be this is like the next frontier. So we'll see how that affects stuff, because the big piece of those EPR laws is waste reduction. There's a lot of incentive to just not make waste at all, because they pay for the waste that they deal with, and they have to ensure the recyclability. So it should be doing some stuff to revolutionize that. And there's also several countries in the world that have adopted EPR stuff too. So we'll see.
Excellent.
I mean, and one thing just really briefly to think about too, and I think kind of Karen, to what you're saying about what plastics can do. I mean, we look at it from a very first world perspective, where plastic containers for preservation of food has really changed a lot of quality of life issues, or even like things where people live where they can't get, bottled water sounds so terrible, but when you can't have bottled water in any other form, it's a game changer, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to remember, like, we want everybody to do all these things, but are we actually like?
Yeah. I watched this, I think some documentary about the use of tiny single-use stuff over in India, and how they will take, I mean, they can't afford to buy like a bottle of shampoo, so they literally have to go and buy a single-use packet of shampoo. So it's a socioeconomic thing too. In some cases, it's like we have to be more conscientious in that too, I think. That's
Like what
always
other countries' realities are not like,
yeah.
like you'll just go, I'm gonna bring my jar and get honey at Sundance.
Right.
I mean, that's nice, but a lot of times it's more like, this is all I have to eat, or all I have to drink, or the only way I can get this
Yeah.
or that, which is a problem, but it's changed a lot of lives.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we can only do what we can do and know what we can know, and when we try to bring conscientiousness and compassion and awareness in to what we do, that's great. But I also don't think, yeah, it's not a simple solution for anyone. It's always a multifaceted thing. So I appreciate the work we're all doing together here in the context that we exist in. And I feel really great about this little survey. It's just one little thing, but it feels like we're actually being able to take an action that can bring some enlightenment that we can report back to the, city council about this topic. So should we set our last meeting in which we would create a report?
And I just want to point out that I'm actually volunteering for the Master Recyclers on Sunday at the home show, so I'll get to see how this is going.
Yay! Yeah, please give us feedback. I will be there too, Karen. I will be doing my Fix It Fair on Saturday, and then I'd be set up at the Viking booth on Sunday. So maybe I'll try to come by and say hi, or maybe even take the survey.
My calendar.
Is there
What?
any, she's gonna look up for her calendar.
Okay.
Is there any research on that we need to do for this report before the meeting? Like,
I
do you
think
wanna assign me something I'm supposed to do? I'll do it.
I mean, I would just say we would just bring a draft of what we've learned. So I would say the big takeaways that I'm gleaning so far from what we've done is we started out trying to focus on this one problem. The city of Eugene enlightened us to the reality of that situation, which is that's not the low-hanging fruit that here. And so it's a complicated thing, and there's a lot of barriers to getting multifamily housing units to have access to composting. So we shifted gears a little bit, and we have taken these actions. So we have added the city slide to our education and outreach committee slide deck. We created a survey that we can be using or handing out to other organizations to use to gather data about why people aren't using this, and we can report it back to the folks like the city of Eugene Waste Prevention and Lane County Waste Management. If we report this data back to them, that enlightens them on you know, the actions that we're taking is the slide deck, this survey, handing out those bin stickers, I think is a very actionable thing as well. And then we'll report all of this back to the city. Simple, not that we have to do a bunch of research, but what the reality of the situation is, you know?
Did we not want to include the little bit about what other cities are doing in multifamily?
Did we?
I felt like we kind of bounced back and forth about whether or not we were going to include like a little bit of information about what's happening in other municipalities. Are we gonna not?
I don't think we spent much time doing that. And do we have ideas of what we would include in that, in respect to that in the report?
That cursory stuff in the beginning before we had that first meeting with the waste prevention folks, and looked at some places in California. But then after we had that meeting, I kind of didn't really dig into it too much. I kind of had like a mixed, like, I know Danielle talked about it of like, well, we don't, I mean, obviously this is the cities of Eugene's reasoning and their findings, but as a sustainability commission, we don't necessarily have to buy into everything that they have to say, right? So like if there's something else that we found or that maybe was successful, we might want to report on that, but we don't have to, or not.
I mean, to be quite honest, like I don't have time to dig into,
yeah.
I mean, just to be 100% honest.
No, that's fine. That's part of it.
If you feel like you are interested in that and you would like to include that, I mean, I'm supportive of that. I definitely agree. Yeah, it would be interesting to see some models that are working for other people. I don't know if it's going to result in action. Like if I zoom out to our big why, like why does the Sustainability Commission exist and what our purpose serves for the city council? Right. It's to advise them in directions that would lead them to take action or not, or just be aware of a situation. So for awareness sake, that might be helpful, but I also don't think they have a lot of bandwidth to just be made aware of a lot of things. And in the past, writing really long like reports is probably going to get less attention than if we just wrote something pretty succinct. But I don't know. I
tend to agree with you. And I mean, I don't know if researching this topic is a job for staff in waste management rather than the Sustainability Commission, right? It's like not. Karen, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I just think I've been doing this for a long time and the city's already working on this. It should be a paragraph. I mean, you really don't need to look at what we proposed for the subcommittee and address the accomplishments according to that. And it should be really short and sweet and right to the point. And we weren't going to research composting. And you be really quick about, without going into detail. Just they have anything they'll ask. You can read it. It'll be
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I just know that we talked about it, and I just wondered where that was.
I really gotta go because I have like back-to-back stuff going on today. So we set up another time.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'll send you this, Mitra.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, Devin, is there a time, or I guess we're over time. We should probably just go online to schedule our next meeting. Is that
Danielle is gonna need to chime in on that.
Hello.
Yeah. There she is.
Sorry, I've been MIA. I'm like preparing for this council meeting next week.
No, it's huge. So we're just trying to figure out scheduling a meeting, a final meeting.
Okay.
Do that, Mitra.
Online or right now?
We're all sitting here with our calendars. You want to do it?
April 1st, same time?
April
Monday?
1st.
April 1st at 2:30. Sure.
I think that works.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
Was that-
fine.
Danielle?
Mhm.
Okay,
At what time? 2:30?
yeah. And again, this one will be basically just, yeah, just doing our report.
If you want to send something ahead of time, we could play around with it and that would be it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to draft something up. Let's
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Look on your meeting, Danielle.
Thank you. Yeah. Hope
Thank
you guys were
you.
productive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for everybody
Oh.
who's on. This is great. Oh, what?
Danielle, the one that you sent me, is that now gonna have the changes that Devin did to it? So if I go in on the email that you
No.
sent,
No,
So
Devin,
I'm
you'll
gonna
have
email
to
it to
email
you
me
right
back.
now. Here.
okay, if you email it to me, then I can forward it over to Daniel. That would be good.
Yeah,
the
I'm
link
sending it to you and Danielle right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bye, you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Good
thank
luck.
you.